Hello everyone, welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney and today is Monday, January 8th. Thank you for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. We start off with an update on what you can expect from the weather over the next couple days because a winter weather advisory has been activated in a few counties while our weather team is tracking lake effect snow here in Northeast Ohio. So if you're wondering how much snow you can affect, according to our 3 News meteorologist Matt Wentz, several inches, maybe between 3 and 6 inches in some parts of the snow belt over the next couple days. The winter weather advisory is in effect from 7 a.m. and went into effect at 7 a.m. this morning until 4 a.m. Tuesday in these 4 counties: Ashtabula in the inland area, Cuyahoga County, Lake County, and Geauga County. Make sure you stay up to date on what's happening with the weather on WKYC.com, our WKYC app, and also our WKYC weather app. Now, we've turned to some pretty upsetting content that we have on WKYC.com. You can hear the 911 call from a woman who was part of a shooting incident at Brook Park that police are saying is an apparent suicide. It's believed that a person shot a baby girl, a person did shoot a baby girl, shot a woman, and then shot himself. This was a 10-month-old baby girl dead after this incident. It happened on Saturday afternoon. The person who's accused of shooting the weapon also dead. The woman did survive. It's a 27-year-old woman. And what we have learned in that 911 call, which again is on WKYC.com, it is graphic, it is disturbing to listen to. We hear her talking about how several children are hiding under the bed in the room where she is. And we will give more information once we have it. But again, at this point, police are calling it an apparent murder-suicide in Brook Park on Saturday afternoon. We now know more about the funeral procession route for Cleveland Police Officer Shane Bartek. Funeral services for him will be Tuesday morning. Those will be at Grace Church of Middleburg Heights. That'll be on Pearl Road. That'll start at 10 a.m. We will stream those funeral services on WKYC.com. 25-year-old Bardick was a 2-year veteran of the Cleveland Police Department. He was shot in the parking lot of an apartment complex in Rocky River at around 6 p.m. on New Year's Eve. His funeral procession will travel from Pearl Road to West 130th Street to Brook Park Road to Holy Cross Cemetery, which is where he will be buried at Holy Cross Cemetery. Now let's take a look at our latest COVID-19 numbers in from the Ohio Department of Health. In the last 24 hours, we've seen 18,042 new cases of COVID-19 reported by the Ohio Department of Health. Our positivity rate, meaning for all of the COVID-19 testing that's being done, 27.5% of those tests are coming back positive at this time. Right now, there are 6,747 people in the hospital being treated for COVID-19. That's an increase of almost 200 people in the last 24 hours. Out of those people in the hospital, 1,276 of them are being treated in an intensive care unit. There's now a new study that's looking around the country at why people won't get vaccinated. And in Ohio, according to Nick Van Zandt, who's a senior research analyst at Quote Wizard, he said one of the main reasons why people aren't getting vaccinated, something that stands out predominantly that people are saying over and over again, is they are worried about side effects. Van Zandt says it is the younger people with less formal education that aren't getting vaccinated, and it doesn't seem to go across race, ethnicity, or demographic lines. Again, the key indicator there is age and level of formal education. The Ohio Department of Health says around 40% of the state's population has not received any dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. Dr. Abhijit Dugal, the vice chair of the Department of Clinical Care at the Cleveland Clinic, says this: "We've not had anyone come in with any significant issues associated with the vaccines." The doctor says that doctors at the Cleveland Clinic and other doctors around the world continue to look at data, not just from clinical studies, but from the hundreds of millions of real-world recipients of the vaccines, and they can unequivocally say it is safe. Now, while we talk about the COVID-19 situation right now, the Great Lakes Theater is canceling all performances of one of its upcoming shows. The show is Ain't Misbehaving, and they're canceling it due to the unpredictable nature right now of the COVID-19 case surge. They say because it's so unpredictable right now, they just can't deliver this musical production on a consistent basis. They will bring the show to the stage when the time is right. Now, the show was originally scheduled to run from February 11th through March 6th, but again, now it's canceled. The date at which it will be shown, not yet known. People who have already bought their tickets for the show, you can either donate those tickets, you can exchange them for something else, or you can get a full refund, and we have the link on WKYC.com to where you need to go to do that. And if you're planning on going to Cedar Point next year and you're more of a last-minute person, pay attention to this, because if you wait and buy your ticket at the gate, that price is going up. It will be $85 at the gate for the 2022 season. Last year, it was $75 at the gate. 5 years ago, it was $67 at the gate. So what is the message here? Don't buy your ticket at the gate. Spokesperson Tony Clark for Cedar Point says they always encourage people to buy their tickets in advance at cedarpoint.com. That's where you get the best deals. And he says that the gate pricing can change kind of frequently. He also says you'll get through the gate faster when you arrive if you buy your tickets on cedarpoint.com. Here's what you really need to know, though. If you think you're going to go to Cedar Point just one time in the 2022 season, they have a deal going online right now. You can get a single ticket for any day. You don't have to pick the day right now. You can pick that day later for $45 plus taxes and fees. So you don't have to be a math major to know that that's about half of $85. So plan in advance, kind of. Again, you can pick your day later. You can get that good any day ticket online right now for $45. Now, as we take a look at what is happening next season for the Cleveland Browns, let's just take a moment to celebrate that today, yes, today is a Victory Monday. We'll get more into the Browns record and what that means for next season in just a moment. But David Njoku says that he does want to re-sign with the Browns and finish his career in Cleveland. Now, it was less than 2 years ago that he was asking for a trade, and obviously he didn't get that request answered. He didn't get the answer that he wanted at the time. But you know what they say, sometimes not getting what you want is the best form of protection, because now he says he really wants to finish his NFL career here in Cleveland. After 2 more seasons with the team, he'll be hitting free agency this spring. So him and his agent, he says, are working right now to turn that wish into a reality. He was in 16 of the 17 games this season. He was one of the few bright spots in the Cleveland passing attack. He caught 36 passes for 475 yards and had the team best of 4 touchdowns. So we'll see what happens, but here is exactly what David Njoku said. He said, "I love it here. I love it here to the core. I honestly want to be here for the rest of my career." There's going to be a lot of fluctuation going on, I have a feeling, between now and next season for the Browns. But let's take a moment to talk about what happened this season. In case no one told you today, the Cleveland Browns swept the AFC North Division champions. Yes, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Browns beat the Cincinnati Bengals last night. We beat the Cincinnati Bengals both times that we played them this season, and the Bengals finished first in the AFC North with a record of 10-7. Followed by the Steelers with a record of 9-8, then the Browns in third place with a record of 8-9, and the Ravens in last place with a record of 8-9. If you would have asked me if the AFC North was going to shake out that way at the beginning of the season, I would not have listed that lineup. I definitely would not. If you would have asked me a couple weeks ago, I wouldn't have listed that lineup. But with that victory, the 21-16 victory over the Bengals yesterday, that putting the Browns in third place in the AFC North has determined a couple of the teams that the Browns will place next season, because the way it works is in certain situations the Browns play a team in a different division that finished in the same ranking within that division. So now we know that Cleveland will play the third place teams in the AFC South. That's the Houston Texans. That'll be an away game. And the AFC West. That's the Los Angeles Chargers. That'll be a home game. I'm looking forward to trying to get some of my LA friends out here to go to that one. That'll be a good time. So that accounts for 2 of those games. And in 2022, that extra game against the NFC for the not in week 17, but that 17th week, that extra game, that'll be the third place team from the NFC East. So that will be the Washington football team. That game will also be away. Next year, we already know that we'll be playing all 4 teams from the AFC East. Those are the Bills, the Patriots, the Dolphins, and the Jets. And we'll be playing all 4 teams from the NFC South. So that includes the Buccaneers, the Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers. And of course, we have our traditional 6 games within the AFC North. So we'll play the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals, each of those teams twice. And that, my folks, is the lineup for 2022. And we don't know the exact schedule or how that's going to shake out necessarily, but we do know which games will be home and which games will be away. And for that, you can go to WKYC.com. Another thing that happened yesterday, it was Doug Dieken's last moment calling the game for the Cleveland Browns alongside our own voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan. He announced he'd be retiring after 5 decades with the Browns. The 17-year-old spent 14 seasons as the team's starting left tackle and 35 more as the color analyst on the radio broadcast. And Sunday was his final time calling the game from the press box. So he and Jim Donovan spent the afternoon sort of reminiscing, soaking it all in. In the second quarter, the Browns gave him the ultimate honor by renaming the radio booth after him. It will now be the Doug Dieken radio booth at the Cleveland Browns Stadium, and he addressed the fans directly while they cheered and chanted for him. And if you want to listen to him sign off for the last time, one more time, we have that on WKYC.com. End of an era. All right, that's it for your 3 News Now update today for Monday, January 8th on this Victory Monday. I know a lot of people have some conflicting feelings about maybe draft position, but I will tell you I'm happy to bring the season home with the win against the Bengals, who finished first in the division after we swept them this year. I'll see you back here tomorrow with more 3 News Now.